Hi guys, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're getting into those Thanksgiving recipes because before you know it, it's going to be here, the big day. And I have lots of recipes on the website and videos that I did last year. I'll make sure to put a playlist at the end of this video. Today we're going to be roasting just the turkey breast, the whole breast. Of course you could do 2 split breasts or however you want to do it, but I'm going to teach you how to do just the whole breast today in case you're doing a little bit of a smaller gathering. But this is also a great option if you don't have a lot of oven space and you want to roast a few of these for a bigger gathering. It's totally up to you. It's going to be flavorful and delicious as always. Let's get started. We're starting off with a whole turkey breast that has the bone in, and I just threw a couple of carrots in the bottom of the pan. Before I make the marinade, I'll also get the onion ready. So in the bottom of the pan, I'm just putting some carrots and onion. If you want to throw some celery in there, you can do that as well. Now for the marinade, we're using 2 tablespoons of spicy mustard, also known as Dijon mustard. If you don't like mustard, be my guest and leave it out. That's fine, but it really does add depth of flavor. About 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And then grape molasses is something that you can find in a Middle Eastern or Mediterranean grocery store. They're going to add a little bit of sweetness and just that delicious holiday flavor. If you don't want to use the grape molasses, you can just substitute an equal amount of balsamic vinegar in there. That will work. And then we're going to do about 3 to 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. That should be the juice of a whole lemon if it's a juicy lemon. Next, we're going to go with 2 teaspoons of salt. This is an almost 7-pound turkey breast, so you do need some salt in here. We're going to do a heaping teaspoon of dried oregano, some ground black pepper. I'm also going to do a flat teaspoon of ground cumin, a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. These are optional. And then I like to grind my garlic and freeze it so that way it's ready to use. But if you don't have already in the freezer, you can just grind 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. I'm going to go with a whole teaspoon, maybe a tiny bit more because I love garlic in my food. And put that in there, grated garlic. And now we're going to get all that holiday flavor from the herbs. I have a sprig of rosemary. I'm just going to go ahead and finely chop it. Add that in there. Then we have some sage leaves. Just going to roll them up and slice those as well. And lots of thyme. So I'm just going to give everything a nice mix. Now, taking care not to tear the skin, we're going to just loosen it from underneath so that way there's going to be a little pocket in there where all of the marinade can fit in. So you can do this either with your hands or both with your hands and with the help of a spoon. And this button that comes with it, it's supposed to let you know when the turkey's ready. It's completely useless. It's best to have a meat thermometer. And once it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit in the thickest part, that's how you know it's ready. Get rid of that because that is not accurate at all. You'll end up overcooking or undercooking the meat. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take about 1/3 of the marinade and we're going to stuff it right under the skin. This is going to add lots and lots of flavor to the turkey as it bakes. Now I'm going to take the turkey and I'm just going to roll it in here in the marinade so we can get it all over nicely coated. Now the best thing to do is to roll this in the marinade and then leave it in the bowl covered with plastic wrap for basically overnight would probably be best so that way all the flavor can go inside of the meat and just marinate it really well. The least amount of time that you can marinate this for is for an hour. That would work too. I'm just going to bake it straight away just for the purpose of doing this video. But at home, if you do have the time, marinate it the night before. You will thank me once it's done baking. I'm going to rinse my hand and I'm going to finish up seasoning this. So the only thing that I forgot to do is to season the cavity with a little bit of salt. And then I'm also going to season the top with some more salt, the skin. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to go in uncovered and I'm going to bake it until the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're looking for the thickest part of the meat to be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to take anywhere between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. It just depends on your cut of meat and on your oven. Use a thermometer just to be sure. This is the one that I have. I would prefer a digital thermometer, but I don't have one right now. I did order one, but it didn't come in yet. But this definitely does the trick as long as it's oven safe. I'm just going to put it in here. and then I'll monitor it. I'll go in at the hour mark to check on it, and then it should be ready. But one last thing. So the only thing that's left is to put a cup of chicken stock in the bottom of the pan, and then you'll have a basting liquid if you need it. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. So the turkey is out of the oven. Now, again, you do not want to be looking at time as much as you want to be looking at temperature. You're looking for the internal temperature of the thickest part of the breast to reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. This time it took an hour and 45 minutes. Now again, it depends on the meat, it depends on your oven and all these things. So keep an eye on it. Once it reaches that temperature, take it out and take it out of the roasting pan, put it in anything, put it in your serving platter or a plate and cover it with foil because you do want it to rest. And then go ahead and take out the carrots and the onions, and I like to serve it with the turkey because they've caramelized and they're going to taste so good. And then you want to take the pan drippings, because we're going to make a gravy out of them, and put them in a saucepan. To that, I'm going to add some, what is this called? All-purpose flour. This is a 1/4 cup. And we're going to cook it until it's nice and toasted. So if you don't have that many pan drippings left, you can go ahead and add some olive oil or butter to this. And then you want to get 3 cups of chicken stock ready. Keep it on the side. This is such a simple gravy, but it has so much flavor. So the flour thickens up pretty quickly. Now you're going to add the chicken stock in here. Try to get it in the saucepan. And mix everything up until it's nice and smooth. And then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice to brighten it up. That's about the juice of half a lemon. And then go ahead and season with a little salt. Go easy on the salt because there's already, if you're using chicken stock that has salt in it, you don't want to add too much salt. You could always add more later. And a little bit of black pepper. And that's it. We're going to cook this over medium heat until it thickens. Then we're going to give it a taste and adjust the seasoning. If it needs more salt or pepper, that's when you would add it. So I like to keep the gravy at a little bit of a thinner consistency because as it sits, it does thicken. And more than likely, you're going to have to reheat it again before you serve it. So if it does thicken a little too much, make sure you have some extra chicken broth on hand so that way you can thin it out a little bit because nobody wants clumpy gravy, right? By this time, by now, the turkey should have had time to rest, and now it should be ready to carve. Now, the thing about serving turkey at a dinner party or anything is, personally, I do not like to carve it in front of my guests. First of all, there's a whole mess that gets created, and second, it's just uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't like to do that in front of my guests. I like to carve it ahead of time. So the trick to keeping it juicy is to put a little bit of gravy inside the pan. Just slice it into the thickness that you want to slice, and then put all of the slices into the roasting tray, the same one that you used before, and cover them with some gravy. Or if you don't want to cover them in gravy, I understand some people don't want to have like a thick layer of gravy on top of them, at least put a bed of gravy on the bottom, and they'll sit in there and stay really nice and moist. So the way that I like to carve the turkey is to get the breasts separate first, get them off the bone. We'll do one piece at a time. Now we're going to get the other piece off. And as you can see, the turkey is still perfectly juicy while it's perfectly cooked at the same time. I do like to go for thicker slices because it prevents the turkey from shredding. But if you have a super sharp knife and you like the thin slices, go ahead and do that. All of the meat that's left on the bone, you're going to want to get that out and put it in there. Cover it with foil and then set it aside until your guests are ready to start eating. You can warm it through in the oven for about 5 minutes or so, just until it gets nice and hot. Then go ahead and transfer it onto your serving platter. Put it out for your guests. Let me take a little bite and see what it tastes like because we haven't done the taste test yet. I'll take this piece right here. Still really hot. Look at how juicy that is. Hands down, the most flavorful turkey breast that I've ever had in my whole entire life. The combination of the mustard and the grape molasses with all those herbs and the garlic really hits the spot. Serve this with some Hasselback potatoes and your favorite sides and fixings, and let me know what you guys think. If you want to know how to make more turkey recipes, I've written some ebooks that'll help you out to throw the perfect Thanksgiving get-together. You can go on to dimitrasdishes.com and download them right there. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. If you want to learn how to make a delicious Greek-style mac and cheese casserole, just click over here and I'll see you right over there. Yes, sis.